Hello and welcome to Ecocentric. I'm your host, Jake Zaleski. We've got a lot of environmental news to cover for this week, and if you're watching this video for a specific story, you can check the description for a timestamp. Let's get started. First, we have a story from Scotland. Irreparable damage will be done to Scotland by climate change within the next decade. The head of Scotland's environmental agency warns that the country will be left with, quote, polluted waters, abandoned villages, dying forests, and a few remaining birds by 2030 if climate change continues at its anticipated trajectory. Longer and more severe droughts are already killing plants and increasing the frequency of devastating wildfires, and rising temperatures are driving away bird species upon which Scotland's ecosystem depends. Temperature increases are having an even more immediate and devastating impact on fish populations and the frequency of algal blooms that are bringing fishing on Scotland's coast to a standstill for many days. Like any island, the entirety of Britain is more vulnerable to the mounting climate crisis than larger land masses with more diverse ecosystems. SNP leader and First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, is introducing measures in Parliament to drastically curb carbon emissions and Britain's overall environmental impact. But change will have to come on a global scale for nations like Scotland to be safe. Next, we have a story about Extinction Rebellion. Extinction Rebellion is resuming large protests and demonstrations across Britain. XR ended their initial period of protest in April early after hundreds of arrests, leaving only sporadic action in cities across the UK. Nearly 2 months later, the organization is at it again. XR announced earlier this week that their activists will shut down Heathrow with drones, shifting the spotlight back into their direction. More protesters convened today in Bristol, blocking streets in a die-in demonstration. XR first came to public attention for the size and bizarre style of its actions. Protesters, young and old, often showed up sporting flamboyant costumes representing the climate cause. The group's social media following has grown since its first actions, and having endured 1,000 arrests, they show no sign of relenting anytime soon. Now I have a story about agriculture. Climate change is delaying planting on farms across America. Farmers in areas of the country that were hit by especially severe weather have been unable to sow seeds, pushing back planting and putting future harvests at risk. Unseasonably wet or dry weather has occasionally delayed planting since agriculture took hold in America, but farmers have experienced more abnormal and persistent weather extremes over the past decade than ever before. There is more farmland that had not yet been planted in May of 2019 than ever before. Trends since 2000 have consistently demonstrated growing danger and unpredictability for agriculture in every region of the United States. Farmers and scientists are under unprecedented pressure to devise solutions to this problem, and time may be running out for them to do so. Next up is another story from Britain. Under pressure from activists and her fellow politicians, PM Theresa May will briefly confront President Trump on climate inaction during his next visit. Many of May's critics see her time before resignation as an opportunity for redemption by making concessions to the left-leaning majority of Parliament on issues like the environment and social welfare. The PM seems to have somewhat acknowledged this growing sentiment, adding climate change to the agenda of her talks with Trump. Skeptics doubt that someone with as poor an environmental record as May could take a hard stance on Trump's inaction or that of her own party, but her impending resignation may embolden her to take more daring political steps. Despite her failure to take meaningful action on climate change without extraordinary political pressure, May accepts climate science as fact and certainly has a green record than Trump. Activists hope that this combination of factors will culminate in a harsh rebuke of Trump's ignorant and abusive climate policies. This meeting will be her final opportunity to challenge the president. Now for a story about Joe Biden. There will be lots more to come, I imagine. Joe Biden has recently released his climate plan, expressed support for the Green New Deal, and has agreed not to take fossil fuel money. Biden's new plan is long and complex and shares many characteristics with the Green New Deal and Beto's plan, such as trillions of dollars spent, a focus on frontline communities, and net zero emissions by 2050. It seems that Biden has decided not to continue his previous plan of advocating for the middle ground on climate action, and now instead embraces progressive action on this issue. Do you ever say something that other people dismiss, but then someone in authority says it's true, and suddenly everyone realizes you are right? Like, maybe you said something, and nobody believed you, but then the teacher said it was right? That's kind of like what our next story is. Intelligence officials warn that climate change poses a threat to national security and U.S. hegemony in the Arctic. The Trump administration and Senate Republicans have refused to acknowledge climate change and the many threats associated with thus far, but State Department officials hope that this strategically important information might sway lawmakers in favor of climate action. Areas of the Arctic under U.S. control will no longer be shielded by ice in just over a decade, increasing the risk of Russian encroachment and opening unclaimed resources and waters up to other foreign powers. Officials argue that the best course of action to prevent tensions over territory and resources will be to invest in curbing climate change, but climate skeptics will lean towards heavy military action as a deterrent for encroaching powers. However, this approach would not solve legal debates over territory and resource rights in such a heavily regulated region. Finally, we have a Tesla story. If you watch this video while waiting for this exact story, sorry, you should have looked in the description for the timestamp. Elon Musk has recently stated that the upcoming Tesla pickup truck will cost less than $50,000 and will outperform the Porsche 911. Musk is trying quite hard to ensure that the pickup truck is relatively affordable, since he sees no avenue for success if it is not. Despite the average pickup truck costing $37,000, Tesla's less than $50,000 pickup truck is affordable because the next closest pickup truck is $70,000. Musk has also said that the truck will be unveiled later this year and will look extremely futuristic. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at We Are Ecocentric. Well, that's all for me, and that's your Save the World. See you next week. But farmers have my cat's pawing at my door. Come on. A video about Biden coming tomorrow. It's 11 minutes, so we took a lot of time with it. One in or out? Are you actually going to the door right now? Standing in the middle of the doorway? Alright, you're in.